Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show. Most people know me as the foul-mouthed shock jock from the Classic Metal Show, or the no-nonsense heavy metal critic from pitriff.com. Now you get to learn the other side. My first book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness, comes out on January 13th in paperback and digital formats on Amazon and iTunes. It details my real-world emotional struggles over a year that included a divorce after a quarter-century of marriage and the death of my father. It profiles things I did right, as well as a bevy of things that I did wrong with the help of alcohol, and how I found my way out of the muck of the emotional state that almost saw me commit suicide. Pre-order your copy of Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness today at www.chrisaikenbooks.com and get in touch with the more fallible side of me, Chris Aiken. Sounds happy, huh?
There's Mark Slaughter right here on your Classic Metal Show, and Never Given Up, and good stuff from Mark. It's a very high-energy, powerful song.
Yeah, it's catchy. I mean, it's not the best thing he's ever done, and he certainly could probably do a little better if he had some musicians.
Well, who did he do this with?
It's all him except for the drums.
Really? He did all the instrumentals and everything, huh?
Yeah, he played the guitar, played the bass, and did the singing, and then he has a drummer.
Wow, look at him.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Sheldon Tarsha.
Yeah, except Sheldon's better.
Have you seen our good friend Sean anywhere?
No. You know, as far as I know, he's being an accountant and surfing. You know, I don't know I haven't talked to him in probably a year. Well, since the last time he was on the show.
It's been that long, huh?
Yeah, I just haven't heard from him. I should give him a call.
Sure.
You know, I guess I don't have to wait for him to call me. I guess I could call him.
Sure.
So.
Well, what I find funny thinking about Sheldon and people who play all their own instruments and stuff, when he told us that his mom was a fan of the CMS.
Yeah, that is funny.
That is funny to think that Sheldon's mom listened to us.
Yeah, it is. That's too funny.
It is. Well, anyway, good stuff from Mark Slaughter. Nice guy, you know, regardless of your thought on the band Slaughter, whether you think they're like a puss act or whatever. But both Chris and I have had personal, friendships, interactions with those guys, and they've all been real nice. So now, is Blas Elias still involved with Slaughter, or is he out, or does he only play when he can, or do you even know?
I think it's a play when he can type of a thing. I mean, he's still, well, let's see.
He was with that Blue Man group in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me look up that brand new killer website. Ooh, did you see that? Did you happen to take a look at it?
I did not look at it. I heard him give out the website, Slaughter USA or whatever.
SlaughterUSA.com. Oof. Sorry, Mark, but this site blows dick. It's really not a good website at all.
Sure.
I mean, dude, it's like that. All right, maybe because I'm a web guy, I'm a total dork.
Well, I'm the same way with the radio stuff. You know, when we listen to audio, immediately I key in on stuff that most people probably would not consider, Well,
all I'm doing is I looked at the very first thing you see, which is the logo on like an amp-looking thing.
Sure.
And the guy just didn't do his diligence to delete all the black that he undoubtedly scanned this from like one of the albums.
Okay.
And didn't delete all the black. So if you look like in the little A part and the R and like underneath the letters, you can see where the Photoshop tool just didn't clean it up well.
So they basically didn't do it very quality.
They didn't do it to my level.
Okay.
I would never publish this. Never. But I don't necessarily see anywhere here.
They got some live video playing right away.
Yeah, that's always good too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any real reference of who's in the band actually now. I don't know.
Is that Dana Strum on the left in that photo?
Let me look here. Let me get to the front here and turn off this goddamn video again. Let's see.
Under the over 5 million.
Yeah, that's Dana.
Really? That looks like a mid '80s Dana.
And there's no picture of the drummer, so maybe they don't have a drummer. because if you look, there's no drummer there.
No, it's Dana, Mark, and Blando.
Yeah. So I know that Zoltan Chaney, wasn't that guy playing drums?
I think he stepped in now and again.
Yeah, so maybe that's the guy now.
I'm going to biography, see if there's any mention.
I went there. It didn't say. It's like some fucking long history.
Right. I do like the little knobs on the guitar head though.
Yeah, I did too in 1991 when that was cool.
Oh, that's funny.
You know, come on, that is like as overplayed as it gets.
Right.
Come on, dude.
That's funny.
Look at that picture that dude put in the chat.
What
the hell?
Yeah, well, that's Dana right there.
Getting in the face with a whatever, some bottle or something.
Yeah. It looks like an iced tea bottle or something.
Something.
Just catching it in the face.
That's funny.
Douche.
A boink.
How do people find that stuff so quickly?
I don't know.
That's
because they're not talking. They're just sitting here listening to us talk, and they can go on the web and just search around for shit.
Wow. Well, like I said, when it comes to Dana's got this reputation of being like a monumental dick, but
right?
I've encountered Dana at least a half a dozen times on a one-to-one basis, and he's always been nice to me. I've never had a problem with him ever.
Well, again, I've had a couple of interactions with him where he was short, but that's fairly normal, man. You can't really judge anybody from that. They're touring around; they don't know anybody,
right?
So I don't really judge that. And the times that I have talked to him, he's been he's been nice to me. So
sure.
I have nothing bad to say about anybody in that camp. Those guys are always okay.
Yeah, Blando, he's pretty quiet. He doesn't really say a whole lot.
I've never met Blando. You know, that's one guy I'm pretty sure I have not met him. I don't think I've seen Slaughter since he was in the band.
Good guitarist, but he just doesn't really. He's just sort of like there. He doesn't really say a whole lot.
Right. Last time I saw Slaughter, Tim Kelly still had his head, so it was.
Well, that was at Ron's Crossroads.
Yeah, or I think it was at the. God, what was the name of that club? It wasn't at Ron's. It was somewhere in Cleveland, like off of Detroit. What was that club called? The Cleveland Cafe or something?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw him there. That was the last time I saw him, and that was on probably. This will tell you how long it's been since I gave a fuck about Slaughter. Wildlife, maybe.
Oh, I saw him on the Revolution tour, obviously, because they did interview them, and they played at Ron's Crossroads, and then Tim got killed not long after that.
Yeah. See, Revolution to me was so bad that the whole band needed to be killed.
Sure.
Do you like that record?
Which one, Revolution?
Yeah.
Just a couple songs.
God, I hated that one. What was that song, American Pie?
Yeah, they did American Pie.
Fucking oof.
Yeah. No, I like that Tongue in Your Groove. I thought that was like a very cool song, which I opened the show with tonight. But that was my favorite tune on that. That again was one of those. That one almost didn't make the record thing,
right?
But it was one of my favorites. So
yeah, I that record to me did nothing. I thought Back to Reality was pretty decent. Loved Fear No Evil. Loved The Wildlife. Was kind of with the debut. I wasn't on board with them right away. I mean, I know everybody liked Up All Night and Fly to the Angels and shit like that.
Yeah,
I was not a big fan.
Right. Well, the way that I found out about Slaughter when the debut came out was when I was working for Roadway out in California. The secretary that worked in my office, she was playing that CD incessantly. I'm like,
right.
What are you playing? And she's like, no, this is Slaughter.
Right.
So that's how I found out about them.
I found out about them. They opened at, Jesus Christ. It wasn't the Omni. It might have been the Stone. They opened for Dangerous Toys.
Okay.
And I went to see Dangerous Toys, and there was like 1 million chicks at the show.
Sure.
And as soon as Slaughter finished, there was 20 of us drunk guys left.
Well, they did have a big chick following. That is true.
They had a huge chick follow, but it was just sad because like the room was full. There was probably 500 people there. And literally as soon as Slaughter was done, I've never seen anything like this ever.
Right.
When Slaughter was done, I swear to God, Dangerous Toys played in front of 25 people.
Oh, boy.
It was fucking embarrassing, man. 400 people at least left.
Sure.
It was real. I felt really bad for those guys.
Well, the way that Slaughter did their fan base is they did it the grassroots way, that they, had a fan club, and these guys actually sat around answering their fan mail.
Sure.
And that's how they got a rabid fan base among the chicks, because the girls would write, and they would actually write them back.
Right. And didn't they also do stuff where in all their videos they would have their fans and
yeah, absolutely.
all fans into all their video shoots and stuff?
They would invite them down for the video shoots and things.
Yeah, because I remember whatever the Bill and Ted thing was, whatever that song was, I remember that was like a big deal on MTV. MTV announced when it was going to be, and anybody could come down. And,
sure.
It was a big deal. I mean, they were a big deal for a minute.
Yeah, but, and again, they built their audience by being very fan interactive. And that worked for them.
Right.
So, well, good for them. They've had a long career basically on their first two records.
Right.
Who else has had a pretty good career just on like one or two records?
Wow. Half of the 80s bands. Let's see, Poison?
They've had more than two, though.
But they were they had three. They had three, and then they were done. Mm-hmm. What did they have after that anybody gave a shit about after Flesh and Blood? Nothing.
That was it. That was the benchmark right there, because what was that one with the Praise?
Yeah, Native Tongue.
Native Tongue, that tanked.
Yeah, tanked. I love that album, though. That's by far the best one they ever did.
But CeCe wasn't in on it.
Yeah, because CeCe wasn't there. Had good guitar playing, Richie Kotzen.
Right.
But I'm trying to think who else. Warrant only really had the two albums. I mean, sure, Dog Eat Dog was a great album, but
that's my favorite Warrant album.
But it's still stiffed.
Yeah.
It didn't do it. I mean,
it was the timing for that one.
Yeah, well, but still, Warrant. When you tell people to name 5 Warrant songs, they come from the first 2 records.
That's true.
There's nobody going, yeah, it's Chameleon.
Right.
Yeah, it's AYM.
Right.
Nobody's doing that.
Right. You're right, from the first 2.
Yeah, everybody's going to list 32 Pennies or Cherry Pie or Sometimes She Cries or Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Or Uncle Tom's Cabin. I'm trying to think who else was popular back then. Who were the wildly popular bands in that time?
That's
a hard question.
That's something we'll have to think about and explore a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm going to say almost all of the 80s bands, if you really want to get down to it, damn near every one of them only had 2 good albums. And then they were gone.
Yeah, LA Guns had 3.
Well, LA Guns hasn't really they've put out 1 bad one, but they only had, but even Hollywood Vampires, people weren't into that.
But that was the end of their 3 though. They're self-titled, they're Cocked and Loaded, and Hollywood Vampires, and that was the end of it. And the reason Hollywood Vampires had anything popular was because Over the Edge was on Point Break.
Right, and Crystallize was a hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they put that on 2 records.
Yeah, because it was so good.
Right.
That song stinks. Fucking talk about, yeah, we did good with Ballad of Jane. Let's write it again and just put different words in it.
Right. So, even LA Guns, even though they've churned out, quite a few CDs after that, their first 3 more or less is what carried their career.
Sure. Guns N' Roses. 2 records and out. I don't care if they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or not. They put out 2 records and then they were done. They put out Appetite and they put out Use Your Illusions.
Well, how about GNR Lies?
That doesn't count.
But they had a couple hits off of that.
But that doesn't. They could have put out fucking shit on a platter, which they did, called Spaghetti Incident, and that had hits on it.
But it didn't have the same hits because Patience was a huge hit.
Yeah, Patience wasn't Since I Don't Have You a hit.
Also, 1 in a Million.
1 in a Million was not a hit.
It was a hit because it was so controversial.
It wasn't a hit though. They couldn't even play it on the radio.
I know, but that caused them to sell a lot of those records because of that song.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just think Guns N' Roses, they had 1 good album as far as I'm concerned.
The debut.
There you go, Extreme. Extreme has won 2 good records and out, and right. I would argue they had 1 good record and out.
Right. I never was an Extreme fan.
I like Pornography a ton, and all the rest of them I think are okay. And the first album I think blows fucking ass.
Blows ass. Hail and Kill Caller, you're on the air.
You don't care if I weigh in on this, do you?
No, not at all. Have at it.
Yes, I'm early tonight. First one that came to mind was Winger. They had the first two albums, and then by the time the third one came out, nobody gave a shit anymore.
You don't think Pull did anything good?
No. It's a great album. Pull's the best record in their catalog, but
Down Incognito, it wasn't any good.
It's great, but they're still crying the blues, blaming Beavis and Butthead for ruining their career.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Jackal too. Jackal's another band. 2 good records.
Mm-hmm.
Basically all those W bands.
The W bands? Winger,
White
Warrant?
Lion.
Yeah, White Lion.
Yeah, there's another one.
Yeah.
They had 2. I mean, they only put out 3 albums anyway, but the third one nobody cared about. And that was pre-grunge too.
What was the third one from White Lion called?
Like Main Attraction. It was some
Main Attraction, Pride, and what was the other one?
Survive, Will to Survive or something.
Pride and Big Game were the first 2, and then Main Attraction.
There you go.
They had something for that, actually.
Yeah, they had early stuff.
Fight to Survive or something, but it was rare. Nobody heard of it.
Yeah, that was kind of relegated to the European market, more or less.
Yeah, that one was called Fight to Survive, actually.
Yeah, that's the one. But I mean, when Main Attraction came out, it was like 6 months or maybe even a little more before Nirvana came out and Pearl Jam came out and all that. And even then, nobody was interested in White Lion anymore.
That's too bad, too, because I'm looking at that track listing right now. That was a good album.
I don't even think I have it.
I'm looking at it right now, man. Wasn't Love Don't Come Easy was a hit, wasn't it?
I just remember the song Broken Hearted.
That was a good song, too, and so was Lights and Thunder.
And then I heard another one on XM called Boys, something like Out with the Boys or something like that. That's pretty stupid.
Yeah, Out with the Boys was terrible, but War Song was pretty good. There were some good songs, but I agree with you. Nothing was big on it. What was the hit on Big Game? Little Fighter?
Yeah, that was
Little Fighter and Radar Love.
Right.
Oh yeah, Radar Love. That was a fucking cheese dick move.
But it's still it did make them popular though.
Yeah, it did. Who else you got, Doghouse?
Just as somebody who in the fall of '89 watched Dial MTV every night. Radar Love was on there for probably 3 months.
Yeah, I never liked that at all.
How about the band Giant? They had Last of the Runaways and Karma to Burn.
But they were never really that big anyway.
No, they came in very late in the game.
Yeah, I don't know a single Giant song.
And they were very light too.
How about Jafria? They had 2.
Well, they only put out 2.
That's what I'm saying. They only had 2.
Then they became House of Lords.
Right.
You could make the case for Dangerous Toys even.
That's true too. And Danger.
All those Danger bands.
Yeah, the Danger bands. Dangerous Toys and Danger had 2.
Right. Quiet Riot, they had 1. They never had a successful record after Mental Health, did they?
Condition Critical or something.
That was not. Come on. Just the fact that they had Stomp Your Hands, Clap Your Feet, that makes that album.
That's not on that one, is it? No, they had the other Slade cover.
That automatically makes your record stink.
Oh well, yeah, not a big Quiet Riot fan either. Anyway,
speaking of Quiet Riot, what's the story with the Jizzy version? Are they going to release that album or what?
I don't know. I would ask him next week when he's here, but somehow I don't think I'll be invited.
He's like mad at us and stuff.
Apparently.
Where are they going to be?
The Roxino. The new venue that they built on but what's that place? Northfield Park.
Okay.
It's like they built a new concert hall within Northfield Park, or a casino inside there.
Okay. Well, I think you should just go and say, "Hey, dude, what's your problem?"
Not at $35 a ticket. No, it's not.
Well, I didn't mean for you to pay for it.
Well, how am I going to get in?
Say you put me.
I could call one of the other bands. It's all fucking guys we know. It's Bullet Boys and Quiet Riot and somebody else that sucks.
Bullet Boys, another 2-album band.
Yeah, there you go. That's another one.
Yeah, I agree with that. Although I will argue till the cows come home that the best record they ever did was Zaza. That fucking record rules, and no one knows it.
That's the third one?
Yeah, that's the third one, and no one knows it.
Yeah, me neither.
I love that record.
What was the other one you were going to mention? Doghouse?
Yeah, Firehouse. What about
Firehouse, that's right. They had two.
Yeah, but I think they had a very minor hit off the third one that was in the lower part of the top 40 in '95, which was really, truly hair metal's last cast.
Right. How about Striper?
They don't count at all in my book.
Well, they had one good record for me, and it wasn't one of the first two. It was Against the Law.
Yeah, the one where they stopped thumping it.
Right, where they just were like, fuck it, let's do it. It's the only good one.
Last-ditch effort to save our career, put the Bibles aside.
Yeah, it didn't work, though.
Which is why it always makes me laugh when I hear Michael Sweet saying something about how we've never felt the need to follow trends. We've always do what we want to do is according to how we feel led by God. Yeah, well, he told you to put out that secular record.
Yeah. Well, it didn't work either. No one bought it.
Yeah, true.
Me.
I think God smited that record.
All right, well, you want to do it this way? I just looked up, in Doghouse, you can stay on this if you want, because you know this stuff well enough. I just pulled up the top 25 most successful bands of the 80s. You want to just go through the 25 real quick? And see if they qualify as 2 records and out?
Okay.
All right, we'll do from 25 to 1. Number 25, we've already done Winger. Number 24 is LA Guns. Number 23, Queensryche.
Oh, Mr. Tate is not happy that you would put him in the category of two and done.
Oh, I'm not putting him in that. This is just a category of I'm reading the list as most successful bands of the 80s.
I can't believe that the Queensryche lists so low.
Well, you're going to feel even worse when you hear what's right above it.
Really? Go ahead.
Number 20. First of all, I don't agree at all with Queensryche with 2. Number 22, Enough's Enough.
Oh, hell
are you
no.
kidding me? They barely had a record and a half.
Yeah, they were one and done.
Yeah, they were one and done, even though they released records almost every year.
Yeah, I love them. Don't get me wrong, I love every record.
But as far as popularity and success is concerned, their first one, and that's the only one.
I mean, was there a hit even off of Strength?
Yeah, I think it was Mother's Eyes.
That was the
they were
hit?
They were never even headliners. At least Queensryche were headliners.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Queensryche doesn't go there. Yeah, Enough's Enough. 22. No, that's a little crazy. Number 21. Boy, this list is bullshit. Fucking number 22. Hanoi Rocks.
Nobody even heard of them until Vince killed the drummer.
Right. And that's even what this article says. Known mostly for Razzle, the drummer who died in the car accident with Motley Crue.
That's it. Because they weren't even a hit over here.
No, Michael Monroe was with Death, Jail, and Rock and Roll.
Yeah, but that was after Hanoi Rocks, though.
Yeah.
They're one of those bands that are famous because they're like the Diamond Head of glam, not because people like their music, but because other bands that people like actually like their music.
Because LA Guns and Guns N' Roses copied the Hanoi Rocks and Motley Crue.
Sure.
You know, they all copied the Hanoi Rocks formula.
Yeah. All right, number 20. This list blows ass. Number 20, Angel.
Who even remembers them?
I don't remember.
Well, that was more like a 70s band, weren't they?
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah,
but
we had who was it from Angel we had on the show? He was bringing them back.
Greg Giuffria.
No, Greg was in the band, but we had what was his?
Jonathan Cain, was he an Angel?
No. We had him on. If I heard his name, I'd know. He's still in the band.
DeMaio, something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Who cares? Angel. No one cares about. Number 19. This is not a hair band. It's a shit band. Loverboy.
Ew.
Okay.
Number 18.
Another song about hand jobs.
This one may qualify. Although I hate this band with a passion, I do think that they had 2 successful records. Faster Pussycat.
Yeah, they're first two.
Yeah, they qualify.
But
I thought about mentioning them myself.
I mean, because whatever the one was with House of Pain, and then the first one, didn't that have like Babylon?
Oh yeah, that was the self-titled, and then the second one was Whipped.
Did that have anything?
Wake Me When It's Over.
No, Wake Me When It's Over was the third album.
But no, that's the second one. The third one's called Whipped.
Oh, the third one is Whipped, right?
Okay, so then it would be the first two would be self-titled and Wake Me When It's Over.
Yeah,
and I think both of those had hits.
Whipped, they were trying to go all bang tango late with the funky flat slap bass and shit.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Faster Pussycat qualifies for two records. All right, next
bang
one.
Tango, now that I mentioned them.
Next two are no-brainers that they don't qualify. Bon Jovi and Rat.
Yeah, they had.
And why are they both down so low on this list?
Why is Queensryche at 24 or whatever it was, 23?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Number 15 above all those bands so far, Quiet Riot.
Wow.
Fucking crazy. Number 14, Kicks.
Boy, that
more successful than Bon Jovi.
What?
Now that's just...
He's talking by the list on the list.
Yeah.
You guys know I'm a huge Kicks fan, but no.
Yeah. Did they have two hits, though? Did they have two albums with hits?
It
I don't
depends
think
on who
so.
you ask.
I only know the one song. I mean, I only know the one song was a hit. Don't Close Your Eyes. Did they have other hits?
Cold Blood.
Cold Blood.
Was that a hit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had an MTV video and everything.
Okay. All right,
I mean, but around here, Kicks are huge. You'll find people in Maryland and Pennsylvania that just to them every Kicks album was a hit.
Yeah, well, they're a very successful regional band, but
sure.
Blow My Fuse was really the breakout album for them. And
sure.
And
even the next one didn't. Even the next one, Hotwire, didn't do all that well.
Yeah, Hotwire only had what was it? Girl Money and Cold Chills.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, number 13, Vixen.
Wow.
Ew.
Well, they had two.
Did they have two?
Yeah, 2 records.
Well, did they both have hits?
Well, let's take a look here. Let me look at the album.
The one had Edge of a Broken Heart. I know that song.
Let's take a look here.
That's pretty much it.
Vixen, self-titled, had Edge
Let's
of a Broken...
Dig My Grave on that one?
They had Edge of a Broken Heart and Crying. That was their 2 songs off their first one. And then Rev It Up had...
How Much Love?
Yeah. How Much Love, which was very minor hit.
I don't know that song.
And that's it. That's all.
Some piano ballad I saw the video for maybe twice.
Right.
So Vixen fails. All right. Number 12 does not qualify. Scorpions.
Oh.
No, hell no.
They had a bunch of hits. This is an interesting one. Number 11, Cinderella.
I was going to bring them up a minute ago, actually, because, I mean, the first 2 albums were huge, and then they threw a curveball with Heartbreak Station, and a lot of people didn't like it because it was kind of soft and kind of different.
It was just a bluesy southern rock album.
But wasn't, and again, this is when I was out of the country, so I don't remember, but wasn't Hot and Bothered when a fairly large hit for them?
It was, because it was featured on Wayne's World. No, that was. It was featured on Wayne's World.
Yeah, but no, I don't think it was that big of a hit, though, was it?
And Through the Rain.
Yeah, that's from Still Climbing, and that got nowhere.
Well, so Hot and Bothered was on Still Climbing, though.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they tacked it on at the end, but it was really from the Wayne's World movie. I think it was probably recorded during the Heartbreak Station sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So do we consider Cinderella a 2 and done, or do we give them...
They had 3, though.
2. Give Cinderella 2.5.
Yeah.
All right. This is another interesting one, because I love this band, but I don't think that they really had but one album that was big. Twisted Sister. Come on, I mean, obviously Stay Hungry is huge, but Come Out and Play. I mean, for Under the Blade and you can't.
What about You Can't Stop Rock and Roll?
Not big.
And Love Is for Suckers.
Love Is for Suckers was not big.
No.
So it really comes down to Come Out and Play. was the bad cover of whatever that song was. I met her
Leader
at
of
the
the Pack.
candy
Yeah, the
store.
leader of the pack.
Yeah. Was that big enough to qualify them as a 2-album band?
No. I almost want to give the nod if there was a second album to You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, but again, it's like 1.5.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, that's a great album, but I don't think any of those songs were hits. I mean, nobody even heard of Twisted Sister until Stay Hungry.
Okay.
So I don't think you can count the pre. What do you think, Neeley? I mean, you were out in that.
Well, I mean,
I don't remember Twisted Sister at all until MTV videos.
I think Twisted Sister might be kind of like Kicks in that, outside of that whole New York, New Jersey thing where everybody was just wild about them and they had sold out shows and shit. Nobody heard of them.
No. Neeley?
Stay Hungry obviously was their huge one.
Right.
And let's see here. What do we got on Come Out and Play?
Just Leader of the Pack.
Yeah. Oh, Be Cruel to Your Screw.
Yeah, that song blows.
Well, it sucked, but it's still, they still got to play for that.
Was that a hit?
Yeah, it was a hit.
Was it really?
Don't be cruel to your school.
Be cruel to your school.
Right.
Name a rock and roll.
It sucked.
Did you read Dee Snider's book?
What does this book say?
He talks about Come Out and Play. He thought it was going to be just like a huge album for them, and he tried to make Twisted Sister be everything to everyone, but even then, and he was totally ignoring the signs, but even then, their star was already on the way down.
I believe that.
And they'd spent so much money on the record, and they wanted to make this big, elaborate stage show, but even then, the crowds were dwindling, and people were coming to see other bands.
Nice. Yeah, it was definitely over, but... All right, number 9, Spinal Tap. Come on.
No, that's stupid.
Oh, please.
Were they even a real touring band?
Well, I think they played a gig or two,
That's what I'm saying, but were they a real touring band?
No.
No.
They get... We'll skip that one.
That's stupid.
Number 8's an obvious, Motley Crue.
Sure.
They've had plenty. Number 7, another obvious, Ozzy. He's had plenty. Number 6, Kiss. They've had plenty. 5, Aerosmith. They've had plenty. Def Leppard, 4. Number 3, New York Dolls.
What?
Number 1, they aren't from the 80s.
Yeah, that's what I think too. But they had an
In the
80s
80s,
album, didn't they?
In the 80s, David Johansen was doing that fucking Ole Ole song.
Yeah, he was doing He was being Buster.
Buster Poindexter.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll say no on that one. Number 2, Van Halen, obvious. And number 1, Guns N' Roses, which we don't agree on.
Sure.
But there it is.
What a stupid list.
That list is terrible.
All these lists they're just put together by people who don't even know anything. They don't know what they're talking about. New York Dolls. Shit.
Well, that one was, that is, again, if people want to see this fucking dumb list, it's the 25 best hair metal bands on Yahoo Music, music.yahoo.
All right, well, here's a little trivia for you. Don't look. Just
right.
answer the question.
Okay.
Who was a drummer in New York Dolls at one time who went on to front
Can I answer?
To
I like
front
this
who?
one, Alex.
Hold on before you answer. To front who?
To front a popular 80s band.
I don't know. I'll let Doghouse have it.
I'll take former crackheads for 200, Alex. Who is Blackie Lawless?
That is correct.
Really?
That is correct.
He was in the New York Dolls?
He was.
Did not know that.
Yep.
Wow.
He was a drummer.
Well, that's something.
Look at Doghouse with all the meaningless trivia.
I guess.
And it's the only place where I get to let it hang out.
There you go.
If you pardon the expression, let it hang out.
Right.